Welcome, students. I am Aurora, the artificial intelligence system on Spacegate Station. In this episode, you will be learning about the difference between fiction and nonfiction text, and the specific way a student would summarize each unique form of literary expression. Please stand by for transfer to Spacegate Station.
Lunar 1, you are clear for docking. Please adjust your angle of approach by 15 degrees and let me know if you have any problems. Spacegate Station out. Well, Erica, looks like your ride to the lunar colony is almost here. I guess you and your mom are going to be pretty excited about getting there after having to wait so long here on Spacegate. I know this place can seem a little small when you're not used to it.
Well, actually, we've quite enjoyed it. I even got to meet Em, who's staying on the station with their parents. We even got to start our own TikTok.
That's right. Miss Makaya's parents were on a 2-year mission of the lunar colony, and now they're waiting for their ride back to Earth.
It's just a shame that we didn't come earlier. Em and I could have hung out more and made a lot more videos. I'm never gonna get this homework done. Mom wanted it finished before we left for the lunar base, and I'm stuck on this one lesson.
What are you working on?
It's my English homework.
Processing. An Italian teacher named Roberto Neblis invented the concept of homework in 1905. Originally, its purpose was to be used as a punishment for students who were lazy in class or for those who were disobedient or rude to their teacher.
Thank you, Aurora. It is a punishment.
You are welcome.
So what are you having problems with?
Summarizing the difference between fiction and nonfiction writing.
Processing. Fiction is a style of writing that is rooted in imagination. Although it can feature real people, places, or events, the entirety of the book cannot be factual. In fiction, real people can have unreal adventures, made-up people can live in existing places, or the entire setting, cast, and story can be imaginary. This would also include works of poetry and drama. Nonfiction is a style of writing that is based on reality. The contents of a text need to be factual for it to be considered nonfiction. This includes textual information commonly used by teachers. Some nonfiction, particularly biographies and memoirs, might be written in a creative manner and can fool the reader into thinking they are reading a novel. However, if the events in the book are accurate, it will still be considered nonfiction.
Thank you, Aurora, but this was Miss Hernandez's homework. The idea is for the learner to discover the answers to the questions themselves with just a little bit of guidance. There's an old saying that goes, you can't learn something until you do it yourself.
My bad.
It's okay, Aurora. I understand that part. The part I'm having trouble with is fiction and nonfiction and how you're supposed to summarize them, and the methods are different. I just don't get it.
Well, what you need, Erica, is someone to review how to summarize both a piece of nonfiction and also a fictional work. That way you'll have a better understanding of both, and you'll know how to approach your assignment.
Yeah, that would really help.
Professor Chandra and Dr. Carafano are presently working in the main biolab on a special project for NASA. Both are published authors and have instructed at the Earth University. They could probably help you with this subject.
That's a great idea. I would offer to help, but I'm working on this really important project. I have to review the base code for this communication patch that NASA wants installed today.
That's no problem. I'll just go see if they can help me. Well, see you later, Specialist Barber.
Okay, good luck. Well, Aurora, I need you to review the base code for this communications patch. It's only about 20,000 lines of code, so it shouldn't take you too long.
Specialist Barber, this assignment was given to you specifically by NASA's Computer Engineering Division. Therefore, it is technically your homework.
That is one way to look at it.
Since the goal in homework is to discover the answers yourself, it would be wrong for me to do your work for you. After all, you can't learn if you don't do it yourself.
Seriously, Aurora? Aurora, this is 20,000 lines of code to review. Aurora?
Hello, Professor Chandra and Dr. Carafano. I hope I'm not intruding.
Not at all, Erica. Dr. Carafano and I were just finishing up for the day. What can we help you with? Are you working on another TikTok video?
No, not today. I need your help with my English homework. Specialist Barbara thought you might be able to help me.
Oh, we would be absolutely happy to. What seems to be the problem?
Well, my teacher asked me to differentiate the difference between fiction and nonfiction writing, but I get confused on which method you're supposed to use for which.
Processing. In literature, when you summarize, you put the most important ideas or information of a text into your own words. Summarizing fiction and nonfiction is important as it helps students to learn the technique of taking out the most important ideas from a text. They also learn to ignore information in the text that is not important and discover what the central idea is for nonfiction or the plot structure for fictional work.
Thank you, Aurora. That is correct. You know, Erica, it's not uncommon for students to struggle with this concept. I bet with the help of Dr. Carafana and Aurora, we can make your assignment a little bit easier and clearer.
That would be awesome.
You know, Professor Chandra, I think the first place we should begin is the summarizing of non-fictional text. You see, Erica, non-fictional text is really what we scientists use all the time. Now, non-fictional text includes instructional writing, as well as biographies and autobiographies. Non-fictional writing is really how we in science can tell everyone about how the universe works.
I agree. And to discuss this topic, we need to define 3 important terms. They are topic, point, and central idea. Aurora, can you help us define topic and point first?
Of course, Professor Chandra. The term topic is what a text is mostly about. It is the subject matter that can be identified by the reader. The point is what the author is trying to tell the reader about the topic.
Correct, Aurora. That was very well done. Erica, you can see now that you've identified the topic and the point, you can determine the central idea.
Processing. The central idea represents the author's main point or message that they are trying to convey to the reader. It is the most important thought that can be found throughout the text. It is determined by the reader through identifying both the topic and the point in the text material they are reading.
Very good, Aurora. You see, Erica, when you're reading non-fictional text, you have to be on the lookout for what we call relevant details. Right, Aurora?
Yes, Dr. Carafano. Relevant details are pieces of the text that support or provide information on the topic, point, and help determine the central idea. For example, if reading a text, a student identifies the following details. A marathon race covers 26.2 miles. On average, it takes about 2 months to train for a marathon. It takes a runner at least 4 hours to run a marathon race. The student can then determine that the topic is about marathon races. The points are the various information provided about marathon races, and the central idea the author is trying to convey is that running a marathon is hard work.
You are correct, Aurora.
Well, that makes sense, but how do explicit and implicit ideas relate to the summary process?
Processing. Explicit central ideas are clearly stated in the text, so there is no room for confusion or questions. Implicit central ideas are implied or suggested, and the reader must look for clues and details in the text. For example, if an author states that they like shoes in every color but red, we understand the following. The explicit idea would be that they do not like red shoes. The implicit idea would be that they do like brown shoes, since brown shoes are not red shoes.
Thank you, Aurora. That is much clearer.
You see, Erica, when you're summarizing non-fictional text, you need to be looking for the most important idea in the text that answers the question, what is the text about? Then you restate the central idea and the relevant details in your own words. You can also include your own ideas and opinions.
But what about summarizing fictional text?
In science, we think of fiction as something we dream about or something we're going to do one day. When we work with fictional text, you have to think about what makes up the plot or the basic sequence of events in a story. There are 5 parts to the plot structure, and I think Aurora can help us out. Aurora, could you explain the parts to the plot structure?
Yes, Professor Chandra. A plot structure consists of the beginning of the story where the characters and setting are introduced, the rising action in which a series of events occur that develop the conflict, tension, or problem within the story. The climax is where the tension, problem, or conflict reaches its peak. The falling action is where the tension, problem, or conflict starts to wind down to its conclusion. It is important to note the falling action can contain smaller events as well. The ending resolution, which tells how the problem or conflict is resolved.
Thank you, Aurora. That really helps. Professor Chandra, is a plot the same thing as a theme?
The key difference is you use the plot to develop the theme. The theme is what the author is trying to teach you, and the author can teach you through a moral or a lesson. The plot is the structure of the story, and you use the plot to develop your theme.
You know, Professor Chandra, perhaps we should also talk about the literary elements in fiction and how they're used to add on to the plot.
I agree. Aurora, can you help us define the literary elements?
Literary elements are essential parts of a story to help keep it running smoothly and to allow the action to develop in a logical way that makes sense and the reader can follow. The 4 literary elements are setting, events, conflict, and character development. The setting contributes to the plot by helping the reader understand where and when the events are occurring in the story. The events involve circumstances with problems the characters face and solve. The conflict is the problem that needs to be resolved. The characters are those that play a role in the story. They can be major characters around which the story revolves, or minor characters that are only present to interact with the main characters.
Thank you, Aurora. That was very helpful. I guess next we need to identify the steps in summarizing fictional text.
Ooh, can I ask her?
Of course, go for it.
Aurora, can you identify the steps to summarizing a work of fiction?
Of course, Miss Hernandez, I would be happy to. The 4 steps in summarizing fiction are: include the plot and theme of the story in your summary. Remember to restate events in the order in which they happen in your own words. Try to include important details about what characters do, say, and feel. Never include your own ideas or opinions in your story. It is not about you, but about what the author is trying to relate through their writing.
Thank you, Aurora, and thank you, guys. I feel a lot better about doing my homework assignment now. You know what? I bet Em and I could make a really great TikTok about this.
That's a really great idea. Well, we wish you luck, and we really enjoyed working with you.
It was a lot of fun.
Have a great afternoon.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Done and done. I've now officially finished my English homework. I think I even have time to do one final TikTok with Em.
Great.
Oh, are you okay? You don't look so hot.
I have had to painstakingly review 20,000 lines of code because someone who shall remain nameless thought it was important for me to do this myself.
And as a result, Specialist Barber, you have learned a very valuable lesson regarding the importance of learning through the doing of your own work.
Oh, I'm sure that's exactly the reason why you refused to help me.
I am sorry, I have no idea what you are talking about. After all, I am simply a machine and can operate only to the level of my programming.
I'm going to remember you said that.
Incoming message from NASA Mission Control for you, Specialist Barber. The subject line is Change of Duty Station.
Aurora, please read the communication.
To Specialist Barber from NASA Directorate. Due to a sudden staffing shortage at the Sally Ride Lunar Research Center, you have been temporarily reassigned. You are to report immediately to the Lunar Station Command Center as soon as transportation is available. End message.
This is great. You're gonna get to go to the lunar base with Mom and me.
At this point, a change of scenery might be in order. Some people around here are starting to get on my nerves. Why don't we go pack and I'll grab my Space Monopoly game to take with us? We should have just enough time to play a game before we have to depart.
Excuse me, young lady. You have not finished your homework. There will be time to play Monopoly later once you have finished.
Oh, come on. Erica gets to go play with her friend and make a tic-tac video.
Miss Hernandez has finished her homework.
I think this is where I need to make my graceful exit.
Seriously, Aurora. You never let me have any fun.
This concludes our latest episode of Spacegate Station. Please join us on our continuing adventures as the crew of Spacegate Station provides engaging enrichment or remediation-based instruction to improve your understanding of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, terminating communication with Earth.